right now to talk about this is Jocelyn Nager. She is the president of Frank Goldstein Nager, and a New York attorney who specializes in debt collection and commercial litigation. Jocelyn, great to see you.
Thank you so much. Nice to be with you.
Wonderful. So if Trump cannot pay the bond tomorrow, the New York Attorney General is poised to start taking action. Bank accounts would be frozen first, right? So how quickly does that happen after, say, close of day?
Well, it really depends upon the method in which, or the speed in which you serve your subpoenas on the banks. If you wanted to, if the Attorney General wanted to, she could issue an execution to the marshal, and he could levy on the bank probably the same day. Doesn't necessarily have to be a bank. It could be a brokerage account or other assets. She's not restricted solely to the bank accounts.
So after the bank accounts, if that ends up being her order of business, then there would also be included in all of this personal effects, right? Like art, it could be potentially seized. You mentioned marshal's office, so it sounds like it's like an eviction. Marshals are there, but in the case of seizing property, would you have residents or occupants that could not be there in the way during that seizure?
Oh no, the marshal or the sheriff will not break and enter or enter anyone's home. It's not as sensational as that, really. And art is a special, really a special asset that needs to be evaluated and stuff. Generally what creditors go after is something that's easier to sell, to seize and to sell. So it could be property, it could be other assets, it could be interest in an LLC, it could be monies that is owed to the judgment debtors, any of them. A levy can be made on someone who owes the money to the judgment debtors, and that money could then be redirected to satisfy the state's judgment.
Okay, and then the other tier in what would be considered the assets, the Attorney General, has already made some judgment filings in Westchester County, which is where Trump's Seven Springs estate, his golf courses are. So he, of course, does have Manhattan property in Trump Tower and at 40 Wall Street, among others. So would Westchester properties be targeted first among properties as part of his assets?
So I can't say first. I think there'll be a multifaceted approach. I think that the Attorney General will go ahead and go after several different types of assets at once. I don't think she'll just go after one, see what happens with that, and then go on to the next. I think she'll hit quite a few at one time. The judgment, the New York County judgment, could be then docketed as a lien in any of the other counties or in all of the other counties where property would be owned by the judgment debtors.
Okay, and of course, this is all following his not meeting bond. Trump, he's got wealthy friends. I mean, they could come to the rescue, and he might be able to, have the cash. But in the meantime, Trump's attorneys are also asking for leniency in the cash demand, or, a delay or no cash at all. Can the judge avoid responding to these things tomorrow?
I really don't know, to tell you the truth. I think that a decision will be made by the court tomorrow. So we'll all have to just wait and hear what the judge decides.
Mm-hmm. Do you see this, since this is your area of expertise, is this being handled just like any other situation in which assets would be seized if a cash bond wasn't met? Or do you see things playing out differently because of the person at hand, the former president?
Well, I think that the Attorney General was directed to stay execution for 30 days. Normally, when you enter a judgment, a creditor has a judgment and they enter a judgment, they can execute immediately. They need not wait 30 days. So here, just the granting of the additional time was a special circumstance and extended to the former president.
All right, Jocelyn Nager, great to see you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
All right, now back